process, flow, and staging an application deployment on Bluemix Platform as a Service. It's important to understand how Bluemix processes and stages your application deployment. This is a process flow to show application deployment process in Bluemix Platform as a Service. First, you upload application bits and metadata, create and bind services, stage the application, deploy the application, and finally manage the application health. When you deploy an application to Bluemix, you must configure Bluemix with enough information including metadata to support the application. For mobile apps, Bluemix contains an artifact that represents the mobile application's backend, such as the services that are used by the mobile app to communicate with a server. For a web app, you must ensure that information about the proper runtime and framework is communicated to Bluemix so that it can be set up the proper execution environment to run the application. Cloud Controller manages the app over lifecycle. The Bluemix environment determines an appropriate virtual machine to which the app or artifacts that the app represents is sent. An application manager on each VM installs the proper framework and runtime for the app and binds services to the app. Then, deploy the app. When the deployment is completed, the application artifacts are started. Each app can have one or more URLs associated with it, but all of them must point to the Bluemix endpoint. When a request comes in, Bluemix examines the request, determines which app it is intended for, and then selects one of the instances of the app to receive the request. It also manages application health status. At the command line, the developer enters the directory containing the application and uses the cf command line tool to issue a push command. The cf command line tool tells the Cloud Controller to create a record for the application. The Cloud Controller stores the application metadata, like the app name, the number of instances, the user specified, and the build pack. The cf command line tool uploads the application files. The Cloud Controller stores the raw application files in the blob store. The cf command line tool issues an app start command. Because the app has not already been staged, the Cloud Controller chooses a DEA instance from the DEA pool to stage the application. The staging DEA uses the instructions in the build pack to stage the application. The staging DEA streams the output of the staging process so the developer can troubleshoot the application staging problems. The staging DEA packages the resulting staged application into a tarball called the droplet and stores it in the blob store. The results are cached and used next time the application is staged. It also reports to the Cloud Controller that staging is complete. The Cloud Controller then chooses one or more DEAs from the pool to run the staged application. The running DEAs report the status of the application to the Cloud Controller. When you deploy an application to Cloud Foundry by running a push command from a Cloud Foundry command line interface or CLI, or using Bluemix web interface, each application is associated with a build pack. Build packs provide a framework and runtime support. They examine user-provided artifacts to determine what dependencies to download and how to configure the applications to communicate with bound services. Cloud Foundry automatically detects which build pack is required and installs it on the Droplet execution agent, where the application needs to run. Because the times you run and push and the time that the application is available, IBM Bluemix uploads and stores application files, examines and stores application metadata, creates a droplet for the application, selects an appropriate droplet execution agent to run the droplet, and starts the application. Applications will be restaged when you deploy or update the application on Bluemix.